Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins HD. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden world of one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1966 Lincoln penny. While you might think this penny is just another common coin, some of these pennies are far more valuable than you could ever imagine. And we're not just talking about a few extra cents, we're talking about a jaw-dropping sum of money. Stick around as we dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1966 Lincoln penny, and find out how this seemingly ordinary coin could potentially be worth $86,000. Let's start by looking at the design of the 1966 Lincoln penny. On the obverse, or the front side, we have the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, sculpted by artist Victor David Brenner. This image has been gracing the penny since 1909 and is one of the most iconic images in American numismatic history. Surrounding Lincoln's profile, you'll find the words, Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, and, of course, the 1966 date stamped below. On the reverse side, you'll find an image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been featured on the back of the penny since 1959. This image represents the grandeur and significance of Lincoln's legacy, showing a striking view of the memorial in Washington, D.C. The words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent, complete the design, but here's where things get really interesting. While the design of the 1966 penny is classic, there are certain features, or rather, errors, that make this coin extremely valuable. You see, most pennies you come across are mass-produced and don't have much in terms of value. However, the 1966 Lincoln penny is a little different, and in some cases, it's worth much more than a mere cent. One of the key factors that contribute to the rarity of this coin is the possibility of minting errors. If you're wondering how something as common as a penny could have errors that make it so valuable, then you're in for a treat. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin-making process, and the results can be quite dramatic. For the 1966 penny, the most sought-after error is the double die error. So, what exactly is a double die error? Simply put, it's when a coin is struck twice, causing the image on the coin to appear doubled. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned during the minting process, and the result is a coin that appears to have a blurry, doubled date or doubled lettering. The most common signs of this error on the 1966 Lincoln penny can be seen in the date or the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. If you find a 1966 penny with these doubled features, then congratulations, you might just have a rare, valuable coin on your hands. Another significant minting error that can boost the value of a 1966 Lincoln penny is a clipped planchet. This occurs when a small piece of the metal is missing from the coin during the minting process, giving it a unique and irregular shape. A clipped planchet on a 1966 penny can be a truly rare find, and collectors are always on the lookout for such coins because they're not just rare, they're one of a kind, and there's more. Some 1966 Lincoln pennies were produced with off-center strikes, which means the design wasn't properly aligned when the coin was struck, and part of the coin's design is missing or shifted. These off-center strikes make for an unusual and interesting coin, and they can command a premium price among collectors. So, if you have a 1966 penny with part of the design off-center, it could be worth a lot more than you might think. Now, you're probably wondering, how much is this 1966 Lincoln penny worth if it has one of these errors? Well, a 1966 penny with a double die error, clipped planchet, or off-center strike can be worth anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and the severity of the error. But hold on, here's the kicker. If you have a perfectly preserved 1966 Lincoln penny with one of these minting errors, the value can shoot up into the tens of thousands. In fact, if your 1966 Lincoln penny is in excellent condition, and it has one of the rarest minting errors, it could be worth as much as $86,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1966 penny could be worth $86,000 if it's in pristine condition and has one of those rare minting errors. So, how do you find out if your 1966 Lincoln penny is a valuable collector's item? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. Look at the date and inscriptions for any signs of doubling or blurring. Then, check for any irregularities on the edges of the coin or if the design appears off-center. If you notice any of these errors, you may have just discovered a rare gem. If you're serious about coin collecting, it's important to keep your 1966 Lincoln pennies in good condition and to store them properly. Coins that are well preserved and free from scratches, dents, or excessive wear are much more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. In conclusion, the 1966 Lincoln penny may seem like a simple coin, but if you happen to have one with the right minting error or in great condition, you could be holding on to a true treasure. And as we've seen today, that treasure could be worth an astounding $86,000. So, next time you go through your change or coin collection, don't overlook those 1966 pennies. Take a closer look, and you might just be holding a rare, valuable piece of American history. Today, we'll dive into the fascinating world of the 1981 Lincoln penny, uncover the errors that make it so valuable, and reveal just how much this coin could fetch in today's market. Stick around until the end, because we're about to reveal a jaw-dropping price that you'll want to hear. Let's start by talking about the design of the 1981 Lincoln penny. Like all pennies, the 1981 edition features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side of the coin. The image of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been on the penny since 1909. The iconic profile shows the 16th President of the United States, and surrounding his portrait, you'll find the word Liberty to the left, and "In God We Trust" above his head. Below Lincoln's bust is the 1981 date, marking the year this particular penny was minted. On the reverse side, we see the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 and has been on the back of the penny ever since. The memorial represents Lincoln's legacy and the nation's reverence for his leadership. Around the memorial, you'll see the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. At first glance, the 1981 Lincoln penny might seem like just another ordinary coin in your collection. But if you take a closer look, you might spot a few features that make it stand out from the rest. One of the key things that can make the 1981 penny worth a substantial amount is the presence of minting errors. And we're not just talking about minor imperfections. Some of these errors can make your coin extremely rare and valuable. Let's talk about some of the most valuable errors to look out for in a 1981 Lincoln penny. The most common and sought-after error is the double die. If you've ever wondered how a coin can have the appearance of being doubled, it's because of this minting flaw. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the die, resulting in doubled text or images on the coin. In the case of the 1981 Lincoln penny, this error often appears in the date or the words Liberty and In God We Trust. The doubling can be subtle or more pronounced, but regardless of the severity, it makes the coin much more valuable to collectors. Another error to look out for is a clipped planchet. A clipped planchet occurs when the coin is struck by the die, but a small part of the metal is missing from the edge. This results in a coin with a distorted, irregular shape. If you spot a 1981 Lincoln penny with a clipped planchet, it's no longer just a standard penny, it's a rare, collectible piece that could fetch a hefty price. There are also cases where 1981 pennies were struck with an off-center design. This error happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it is struck by the die. As a result, part of the design may be cut off, leaving a portion of the coin without any design or lettering. An off-center 1981 penny is a rare find, and collectors prize these coins for their unique appearance. Now that we've discussed the errors that make the 1981 Lincoln penny stand out, let's talk about what makes these coins so highly sought after by collectors. The key to understanding their value lies in their rarity and condition. While millions of pennies were minted in 1981, the ones with minting errors are much rarer. Minting errors are often found in coins that have been heavily circulated, meaning the coins are in poor condition and may have scratches, wear, and damage. But if you find a 1981 Lincoln penny that has been well preserved and retains its original features, especially if it has a minting error, then you've stumbled upon something incredibly valuable. The rarity of a mint error combined with the condition of the coin means that it will fetch much higher prices from collectors looking to add it to their collections. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much can a 1981 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, if you've got a 1981 penny with one of the rare minting errors, such as a double die, clipped planchet, or off-center strike, and it's in great condition, your penny could be worth a staggering $56,000. Yes, you heard that right, $56,000. A single penny, worth only 1 cent when it was originally minted, could now be worth a small fortune. Imagine finding a 1981 penny tucked away in your coin jar or stashed in an old book. You take a closer look, noticing the doubling in the date or the unique off-center strike, and suddenly, you realize that you're holding onto a piece of numismatic history that could change your life. For collectors, the thrill of finding a valuable coin is a huge part of the excitement. And if you're one of the lucky few who stumbles upon a 1981 Lincoln penny with a minting error, then you've got yourself a treasure. Keep in mind that the condition of the coin plays a big role in its value. Coins that are well preserved, free from damage, and with clear errors are the most valuable. So, if you've got a collection of coins or you're just getting started, take the time to carefully examine your 1981 Lincoln pennies. Look for those telltale signs of minting errors, and who knows? You just might have a rare, valuable treasure on your hands. Whether it's a double die error, a clipped planchet, or an off-center strike, the value of these coins could put you in a very fortunate position. In conclusion, the 1981 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin, but its potential value, especially if it has a rare minting error, is incredibly high. If you've got one of these pennies with a minting error and it's in good condition, it could be worth an impressive $56,000. Today, we have something truly exciting to discuss. If you're a coin collector or even someone who's just casually interested in the world of rare currency, then you're in for a treat. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1971 Lincoln penny. Yes, this little copper piece, which many people might overlook in their spare change, could be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be astounded by just how valuable a simple penny can be. Now, let's begin by taking a closer look at the design of the 1971 Lincoln penny. As with most pennies, the obverse side features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait is unmistakable, and it's been a part of U.S. coinage since 1909. Surrounding his image are the words "Liberty and in God We Trust," and the year 1971 is prominently displayed beneath his profile. This design pays tribute to one of the most respected presidents in American history and has been a constant on the penny for more than a century. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the reverse side, which showcases the Lincoln Memorial. This design, introduced in 1959, is a symbol of Lincoln's legacy, and its detailed columns and steps are a reminder of the strength and unity that the memorial represents. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent are stamped around the image, reinforcing the coin's significance as part of the nation's currency system. Now, when it comes to coin collecting, the 1971 Lincoln penny may seem like a relatively ordinary coin, especially since so many were minted that year. But what you might not realize is that this penny, just like many other coins, can hold much more value than what you'd expect. Why? Well, the answer lies in its rarity, condition, and potential minting errors. Let's talk about what makes a 1971 Lincoln penny truly valuable. One of the main factors that can boost the worth of this coin is the presence of minting errors. Over the years, certain minting errors have turned otherwise ordinary pennies into sought-after treasures. And the 1971 Lincoln penny is no exception. The double die error is one of the most common and lucrative mistakes to look for. This occurs when the coin is struck by the die multiple times, causing the images or text to appear doubled or blurred. In the case of the 1971 penny, you might notice that the date or the words "Liberty and in God We Trust" are slightly doubled, giving the coin a unique and rare look. If you find a 1971 penny with this error, you could be holding onto something quite valuable, as double die coins are highly coveted by collectors. Another key error to look out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not properly aligned when it's struck by the minting press. The result is a coin with part of the design missing, or sometimes a coin with a design that's skewed toward one side. If you happen to find a 1971 Lincoln penny with this kind of error, you've just stumbled upon a rare gem, as off-center strikes are not only interesting to look at, but they can be incredibly valuable as well. But that's not all. Clipped planchets are another error that can occur during the minting process, and these errors can make a coin worth significantly more. A clipped planchet happens when the metal blank used to strike the coin isn't properly cut, resulting in a piece of the coin being missing along the edge. If you have a 1971 Lincoln penny with a clipped edge, it's a very special find. These types of coins are highly collectible and can fetch impressive prices at auction or from private collectors. So, what does all this mean for the value of your 1971 Lincoln penny? It's all about the rarity and the condition of the coin. While millions of 1971 pennies were minted, coins with minting errors are far rarer, and in excellent condition. These errors can make a world of difference in the price. Coins that are well preserved and free from wear and tear have the potential to fetch far higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare error pennies in near perfect condition, you could be in for a major payday. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1971 Lincoln penny with a minting error could be worth. Well, the answer might surprise you. If you have a 1971 penny that features one of these rare errors, such as a double die, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, and it's in exceptional condition, it could be worth an incredible $58,000. Yes, you read that right, $58,000, think about it. This small copper coin, which was only worth 1 cent when it was first minted, could now be worth more than some people's homes. It's truly amazing how something as seemingly ordinary as a penny can turn into such a valuable and rare piece of history. So, if you've got a jar full of coins or are sifting through your old pennies, take a closer look at your 1971 Lincoln pennies. Inspect them carefully for any signs of minting errors, and don't be afraid to get those coins graded by a professional if you think you found something special. After all, you never know when you might discover that one penny that changes everything. In conclusion, the 1971 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin, but with the right minting errors and in the right condition, it could be worth a small fortune. Whether it's a double die error, a clipped planchet, or an off-center strike, these rare coins have a lot of potential for collectors. If you happen to have one, you could be holding onto a treasure that's worth an astonishing $58,000. Today, we're diving into something very special, the 1973 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this might seem like just another coin from the 1970s. But don't be fooled. The 1973 Lincoln penny could be much more valuable than you think, and in this video, we'll explore why this small cent could be worth a small fortune. Now, let's take a step back in time to the early 1970s. The 1973 Lincoln penny was struck during a period of economic change. The U.S. Mint was still producing pennies primarily in copper, and people were using these pennies in their everyday transactions. But little did anyone know, this humble coin would one day become a coveted collector's item. So, what makes the 1973 Lincoln penny so special? It's all about rarity, condition, and some of the fascinating minting errors that turned this penny into a sought-after collectible. To start, let's talk about the coin's design. Like all Lincoln pennies, the 1973 version features a profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. His face is depicted in profile, and beneath the image, you'll see the year 1973, along with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. This design, which has been a constant feature on pennies since 1909, honors one of America's most revered presidents. On the reverse side, the coin features the famous Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of unity and strength. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent are inscribed around the memorial. While the design may seem standard, it's the rarity and errors that truly make the 1973 Lincoln penny stand out among the crowd. So, what makes the 1973 penny so valuable? For one, there were millions of these coins minted, so they might not seem particularly rare at first. However, as time goes on, many of them have been lost to wear and tear, while others were simply spent and circulated. So, finding a 1973 penny in excellent condition is already a great start. But here's where things get even more interesting. In the world of coin collecting, it's often the minting errors that can make a coin truly valuable. With the 1973 Lincoln penny, some coins were produced with defects or mistakes that make them highly sought after by collectors. Minting errors occur when the machines used to strike the coins malfunction, creating unique flaws that weren't part of the original design. And these mistakes can significantly increase a coin's worth. One of the most notable errors to look for is the double die error. If you're lucky enough to find a 1973 penny with a double die, you've got a real treasure on your hands. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing the design to appear doubled. On a 1973 Lincoln penny, you might notice that the words Liberty or In God We Trust appear to be doubled or blurred. Double die pennies are highly prized by collectors because they are rare and unique. No two double die coins are exactly alike. If you come across a 1973 penny with this error, it could be worth much more than its face value. Another key error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing. This creates a coin with an uneven edge or a portion of the design that's skewed to one side. Off-center strike pennies are often highly collectible because they are rare, and collectors love the unique appearance they give to the coin. If you find a 1973 Lincoln penny with an off-center strike, it could be worth significantly more than a regular, well-struck penny, but that's not all. Another potential error to look out for is a clipped planchet. A clipped planchet occurs when the metal blank used to strike the coin is not properly cut, resulting in part of the coin being missing around the edge. These kinds of errors are rarer than you might think, and clipped planchet pennies are always in high demand. So, if you stumble across a 1973 Lincoln penny with a clipped edge, congratulations, you found something truly valuable. Now, you might be wondering just how much these rare 1973 Lincoln pennies can actually be worth. While a typical 1973 penny might only fetch a few cents, a 1973 penny with the right minting errors and in excellent condition can be worth a lot more. If you happen to find a well-preserved 1973 penny with a double die error, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, the value could reach an impressive $56,000. Yes, you heard that right, $56,000 for a 1973 Lincoln penny. It's truly incredible how a simple penny, something that most people wouldn't give a second thought, can hold such a hefty value. This just goes to show how much the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, waiting to be discovered by those with a keen eye and a bit of luck. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1973 penny? First and foremost, don't spend it. It may seem like a small amount, but if you have a rare minting error penny, it could be worth much more than its face value. If you believe your 1973 penny is in great condition or has any of these rare minting errors, consider getting it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service. This will help confirm its authenticity and give you a better idea of its market value. In conclusion, the 1973 Lincoln penny may look like an ordinary coin, but in the right condition and with the right minting errors, it can be worth a small fortune. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, these coins are highly prized by collectors and can command prices that most people wouldn't expect for a penny. So, keep your eyes peeled when you're going through your change, and who knows? You might just find that $56,000 gem hiding in your pocket. Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1978 Lincoln penny. If you've been on the lookout for hidden treasures in your spare change, this could be one of the most interesting and valuable pennies you'll ever come across. Stick around until the end because you're going to be shocked at just how much this little coin could be worth. Now, when most people think of pennies, they might imagine a coin that's not worth much more than a few cents. However, the 1978 Lincoln penny is far from ordinary. With the right condition, minting errors, and a little bit of luck, this seemingly simple coin could have a price tag worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special, and why is it a collector's dream? Let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln penny features the iconic design that we all know and love. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, looking confident and determined as he faces left. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, has been featured on pennies since 1909, making it one of the most enduring symbols of American currency. Underneath his image, you'll see the year 1978, as well as the words liberty and in God we trust, reminders of the nation's core values. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, the magnificent structure that represents the unity and strength of the United States. Around it, the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent are inscribed. The design is classic, but it's the rarity and errors that elevate the 1978 Lincoln penny to a new level of significance. At first glance, you might think that a 1978 penny is just like any other penny in your pocket. After all, millions of these coins were minted, so they're not exactly rare in the conventional sense. However, like most valuable coins, the 1978 Lincoln penny's worth comes down to one important factor: condition. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. A 1978 penny that has been well preserved and remains in mint condition will always fetch a higher price than a well-worn penny that has been in circulation for years. But wait, it doesn't stop there. There's something else that makes this penny extra special: minting errors. If you've been collecting for a while, you know that errors are often what separate a run-of-the-mill coin from a treasure trove. The 1978 Lincoln penny is no exception. Over the years, certain minting errors have occurred that make some of these coins far rarer, and far more valuable, than others. One of the most highly sought-after errors on the 1978 Lincoln penny is the double die error. For those who aren't familiar, a double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the die, resulting in a doubling effect. This creates a distinct, doubled appearance on certain letters or numbers on the coin, most commonly on the words liberty or in God we trust. If you find a 1978 penny with this error, it could make your coin worth significantly more than its face value. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank metal disc, known as a planchet, isn't properly aligned in the minting machine. The result is a coin with an uneven strike where part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. This unique characteristic makes the coin a one-of-a-kind piece, which is exactly what collectors are looking for. Off-center strikes are relatively rare and are considered a premium for any serious coin collector, and let's not forget the clipped planchet error. A clipped planchet occurs when the metal disc that is struck to make the coin is imperfectly cut, leaving part of the coin with a missing or incomplete edge. This results in a rough edge and sometimes a distorted design. It's a rare occurrence, and just like other minting errors, clipped planchet pennies can command a much higher price in the market. Now, you might be wondering, how much is a 1978 Lincoln penny worth? Well, the answer can vary depending on the condition of the coin, its rarity, and the specific error it may contain. But if you happen to find a 1978 penny with a minting error such as a double die, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, you could be sitting on a serious collector's gem. A well-preserved 1978 Lincoln penny without any errors can still fetch a few dollars, but if you find one with a double die error or off-center strike, you might be looking at something worth $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000 for a single penny. Imagine stumbling across a penny in your pocket change and realizing it's worth $51,000. It's enough to make any coin collector's heart race. Whether you find it at a garage sale, in your old jar of loose change, or as part of an inherited collection, a 1978 Lincoln penny with the right minting errors could be your ticket to a small fortune. So, if you've got any 1978 pennies lying around, it's definitely worth taking a second look at them. Examine the condition carefully, look for any potential minting errors, and if you think you found something special, don't hesitate to get it professionally graded. A certified coin grading service can help you determine the authenticity and true value of your coin. In conclusion, the 1978 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin in your collection, but if you know where to look and what to look for, it could turn out to be much more valuable than you ever imagined. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, these rare features can dramatically increase the value of your coin. So next time you come across a 1978 penny, be sure to inspect it closely. You could be holding a piece of history worth $51,000. Thanks for joining me today, and remember, the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an exciting update. Until next time, happy collecting, and good luck finding your next rare coin.